Hello, and welcome back to Podcasting for Personal Brands, the go-to podcast for authors, coaches, and speakers looking to leverage the power of podcasting. Today, we're navigating the legal landscape of podcasting, a crucial topic that can save you from potential pitfalls and help you navigate your podcasting journey with confidence. Copyright laws. Copyright laws exist to protect original works of authorship, including literature, music, and artwork. As a podcaster, this means you can't just include copyrighted material in your podcast without permission. For instance, you can't read a full chapter of a copyrighted book, use a copyrighted photo for your podcast cover, or include a copyrighted song in your episode without obtaining the necessary permissions or licenses. Doing so can lead to copyright infringement claims, which can be costly and damaging to your reputation. It's important to either use copyright-free material, obtain permission, or ensure your use falls under fair use, which can be a complex determination and might require legal counsel. Music rights. Music and podcasts can create a particular atmosphere and enhance the listener experience. However, the music industry has strict licensing laws. Using a popular song without obtaining the proper rights can lead to hefty fines. You need to use royalty-free music, purchase a license for the music, or create your own. There are platforms like Epidemic Sound or Audio Jungle that offer a vast library of tracks for licensing, or you can commission a unique jingle for your podcast. Guest release forms, including guests in your podcast, can diversify your content and bring in new audiences. However, to protect your rights to the content, it's a good practice to have guests sign a release form. This document clarifies that you have the right to use the content from the episode, including the guest's words and likeness, for your podcast and any promotional materials. For example, the release form would allow you to use a clip from the episode in a promotional video without further permission from the guest. Disclaimers. A disclaimer in your podcast is a statement that helps to limit your liability. The nature of the disclaimer will depend on the content of your podcast. For instance, if you're a life coach and provide advice in your podcast, a disclaimer reminding listeners that the information provided is not a substitute for professional advice can be helpful. This way, listeners understand that the podcast content is for informational purposes only and should not be the sole basis for making significant decisions. Privacy laws. If you collect any personal information from your listeners, such as when listeners sign up for your podcast newsletter, you need to be aware of privacy laws. These laws vary by country, so it's important to understand the ones applicable to you. In general, you should inform listeners what personal information you're collecting, how you're using it, and how you're protecting it. Having a privacy policy that listeners can refer to is a good practice. In conclusion, being aware of these legal considerations and ensuring compliance can save you from potential legal issues down the line. As always, when dealing with legal matters, it's best to consult with a legal professional if you have specific questions or concerns about your podcast. Join us in the next episode of Podcasting for Personal Brands, where we'll be discussing how to maintain consistency and quality in your podcast over time. Until then, stay informed, stay compliant, and continue making your voice heard.
That's it for this episode. Make sure you check the show notes for additional resources. We would love to hear your feedback, and it would mean the world to us if you would leave us a review. We appreciate your time, and we will see you on the next one.